And we are the Unblinded Real Raw role play. Influence is a superpower. We have it here and you get it here. That's what's happening. And of course, it's integrity-based influence. That's a superpower. And Jay, we got some awesome folks with us today. Let's start with our amazing guests, right? And then talk judges. So who do we have?
All right. So our amazing guests today, we have, I'll start with Ben Kniffen from Missouri, from St. Louis, Missouri. Ben is the co-founder and COO and president of LinkedSelling, the leader in business-to-business lead generation, a 3-time Inc. 500 and 2-time Entrepreneur 360 company. Ben has personally worked with over 10,000 businesses directly, either running lead generation campaigns or consulting how to build the best process to utilize LinkedIn and email to get more sales and more appointments and grow their businesses. He is also the father of 2 daughters, Olivia and Claire. Welcome, Ben Kniffen.
Ben, what's up, brother? How are you?
Sean, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Dude, 10,000 businesses and from St. Louis. Can we talk about St. Louis for 1 second?
We can. I love St. Louis.
Yeah. Well, so here's a problem. So my mom's husband, and she just got married in her 70s, and he's awesome. And they were on my sister's TV show with Tamron Hall. My sister's a director, and they had a really cute segment. And they got married after my now stepfather, I guess, had a really wacky pickup line at their 45-year high school reunion. However, what he is most famous for, would be my mom's current husband, awesome man, is he was an NFL replacement ref. And when he was an NFL replacement ref, I don't know if you have any recollection of this, Ben, but one of the most storied moments was a blown call that led to the end of NFL replacement refs. That was one moment, not his. The moment that was his was probably the second most infamous moment, which actually was featured in Sports Illustrated and had him result on multiple national television appearances. Because on Monday Night Football, he called a foul and he said it was on St. Louis. He did not say St. Louis. He said it was on St. Louis. And the next morning, from the head of NFL referees for the replacement refs, he was blown up and chastised for saying St. Louis on national television. So when I heard Jay say St. Louis, I'm like, it is St. Louis. And I'm having fun with Jay by saying St. Louis, because in our family, it was a major, major moment. Do you have any recollection of that moment or no? The St. Louis NFL moment?
That one, I do not. Certainly there's been, in St. Louis's past, we just lost our 3rd football team when it comes down to it. So sometimes those blown calls are the XFL, I'm sure you guys have seen, I think they technically went out of business.
Yeah.
Like the XFL is no longer. And so technically that's our 3rd football team we've lost. So usually those are the painful things that we focus on over some of those. I'm trying to think of some big football calls. The Ricky Prohl call against Tampa Bay in '99. That was a big one.
I do. I know literally exactly what you're talking about. That was unbelievable.
Yep. So, but I thought you were gonna tell a Cubs oriented story at first, and I was like,
No. Yeah. So, I just always hear St. Louis. It automatically gravitates to that moment. And he was named Jerry Hughes, so you could pick that St. Louis moment up on. It's quite a funny moment. So awesome. Welcome, brother. And we'll talk a little bit more. But Jay, we have one other remarkable, successful, mastery mindset driven gentleman. And who's that?
It's this guy named David Fagan. So welcome, David Fagan. Right now he's sitting in Arizona, but David Fagan is a columnist for the Beverly Hills Times Magazine and the host of the California cable TV show, The Hollywood Entrepreneur. He's also the former CEO of Guerrilla Marketing, which sold over 23 million books in 62 languages all over the world, as well as the former owner of LCO Communications, a Beverly Hills PR firm that represented 58 Academy Award winners, 34 Grammy winners, and 43 New York Times bestsellers. David's company, Icon Builders Media, is based out of Southern California, where he lives with his wife and 8 children.
Whoa, that's a lot of kids, brother. Congratulations on that. How's that all going in the world of Corona?
It's interesting. I've already got a few kids that have grown up and moved out, so I don't have quite as many around, but probably still more than most. But it's good.
That's awesome. And David, I have to say this. Congratulations on some remarkable accomplishments.
Thank you.
What you've done, Ben has done, best-selling, icons, people, stuff, remarkable. And you know what's present for me?
What's that?
What is present for me is a Beverly Hills day. So you have your Beverly Hills connections. I just got a message from the amazing immortal Mike Crouppen, who is like the #1 life insurance person in the country, and Sheila Mack, who's a Beverly Hills real estate star, just texted me as well. So I don't know what it is, but there's this like gravitational pull of Beverly Hills as I'm sitting on the Jersey Shore today. So I don't know what's up, but welcome. It is a Beverly Hills day for sure.
All right, good. That's a good day to have.
It is. And quick question. What do you do for fun? Like what's fun about in the life of David Fagan?
Sailing, my sailboat. Just in the process of going from one to another, but yeah, I've done sailing for a long time. Written a lot of books on my sailboat. Take clients out on the sailboat, but that's probably my most fun hobby. I don't get to do it as much as I'd like to, but that's probably the easiest one to show off.
No, super cool, brother. Awesome. And what's present for you as you're ready to roll into the Unblinded Real Raw?
You know, just thinking a lot about the opportunities that are available. I knew this year was going to have a lot of opportunities for those people that are willing to change and willing to adapt. I didn't know that it would look exactly like this, but history has kind of always given us opportunists, good chances, big chances. And I knew this year would be one of those years. And right now, this is definitely one of those times. A lot of shift, money's still out there. It's going in different directions in different places. And the people that aren't going to dig in and say, hey, this is it. This is me. Take me or leave me. The people that are willing to say, you know what? I'm willing to evolve. I'm willing to change. I'm willing to adapt. Those people, there's just massive amounts of opportunities for. And so that's kind of my mind and my mindset and kind of where my heart is. And it's exciting, really.
Awesome. Well, thanks, brother, and welcome. And Ben, quickly back to you. What do you do for fun?
Well, unlike David, I don't live by the beach. Matter of fact, St. Louis is like 10 hours from any beach or mountain. Normally I do watch a lot of Cardinals baseball, but not now. I think a lot of times, Jay had mentioned my two daughters. Here, I'll show you a picture real quick.
Please do. Please do.
So these are my two daughters. That's actually a little bit older of a picture. But
how old are they, Ben?
Technically, so in that picture, that's a few years ago, but now they are 6 and 8, but my 6-year-old turns 7 tomorrow. So
birthday Eve.
Yeah, there you go. So
what are the names?
The oldest one is Olivia and the youngest one is Claire.
What's up, Olivia and Claire?
They're a handful. So that probably, you know, as I'm sure many folks know, when you get to that age in life where you're taking care of, you know, little kids like that, that's usually where your time and effort goes to. Just that and working on the business. You know, that's actually a big passion of mine.
Awesome. Well, thanks, brother. Hey, David, listen,
Yes.
A lot of times folks do some interesting and curious things to try to get the upper hand in the real raw. So Ben is creating some persuasive dynamics by actually going all the way to showing pictures of his beautiful daughters, Claire and Olivia. So judges, note this. We love Ben for his fatherhood and pride, as we do David, but we give no bonus points for showing pictures of our children, Ben. I'm completely awesome. Love it, brother. Awesome. So welcome, and we're ready to go. And we have some great judges, Jay. Who are our judges for today?
Yes. So the judges for today, first up, we have Monica Zumalak. She is a mastery student from Tucson, Arizona, and the owner of Freedom Therapy Myofascial Release. Welcome, Monica.
What's up, Monica? How are you?
Hi, I'm doing fantastic. I'm just really excited. And I mean, what an honor to be with this amazing group of just fabulous, successful men. And wow, so excited.
Well, thank you for bringing your awesome energy. Welcome, Monica.
Thank you.
Next up, we have someone who's very familiar with this process. We have Steve Thompson, founder of Never Quit Steve and a 7-figure earner at Ambit Energy, an MLM superstar. Steve Thompson, welcome.
Hey, thanks. Glad to be here.
Yeah, Steve, a pleasure to have you here. And want to drop a quick footnote that Steve is one of the most committed, masterful communicators in the space of integrity-based influence that I've personally encountered. So Steve, welcome. It's an honor and privilege, brother. And you're up to big things. And by the way, for those that don't know, Steve lives on or part-time lives, at times lives on like a 2,100 acre ranch with like 500 animals from all over the world. But yeah. Steve, is this true that you are not to be confused with Tiger King? Is that true?
That's right. I still haven't seen Tiger King. I guess I'm going to have to tune in a few minutes to find out what people are talking about. We do have mountain lions on my ranch, but they're not seen very often.
Well, I'm going to bet you that Tiger King is about a few more things than just the animals, my friend, because it's some of the craziest human dynamics I've ever encountered. I watch very little to no TV, but my son said the intensity of the acceleration of Unblinded, as well as, the Corona times, and the acceleration of the other things that I'm up to that relate to Unblinded. My son's like, Dad, you want a phenomenal escape to see complete and total insanity, which I happen to enjoy at times. Check out Tiger King, and it is absolutely nuts, horrifically insane, guilty pleasure, but like drop the mic insanity. So yes, Steve, you and Tiger King could not have less to do with one another. Other than
I'll tune in and see.
Yeah, have animals around. That's about the only thing you have in common. So welcome, Steve. And Jay, we still is Chris still yet to make an appearance?
Yet to make an appearance. Would you like me to just introduce him? So if he hops on, we
you know what? I'll just say this, Tiffany. If we could get Chris on, or let's work in the next couple of nanoseconds to plug in a third slot. I'm sure Chris had something emerging come up. If you guys could do that, that would be fantastic. Because I'm going to be talking about the rules and the structure for a couple of minutes. But as we get ready, we'll do this first. So yes. In Ben and David, in the space of Unblinded, the idea here with the real role play is that we truly believe, and I think both of you have demonstrated in your life, that influence is a superpower, that the ability to go from hello to yes with human beings with integrity, it starts and ends countries, it creates and destroys businesses, it creates and destroys marriages, families, partnerships, all sorts of things sit in the power of influence and how we use it. And so folks often think of sales, influence, communication, leadership as these unrelated concepts. We see them as one integrated concept. It's all the ability to go from hello to yes with people. And in the space of being able to or not being able to, as well as what we do with that, is how all of these massively interesting things do and do not occur. But also what has come up for me over the past 23 years is the idea that people sort of think that their communication skill sets are innate, that they're not developed, and they become something different when they move into the role of marketing or selling or influencing of people in wearing different hats. And it's the integration of these concepts, the unlocking of our skill sets that the Unblinded Real Raw is all about, while we have some fun and entertain some people so they can see what they don't see about communication, mastery, and influence. Final point, that mastery in the space of influence, or quite frankly, anything that we do, is never about yes, we're good or not, or yes, we're great or not. It's literally about unlocking small distinctions of mastery that create exponentially different results and accelerations. And that's how you get to 10,000 clients work within LinkedIn, creating best-selling books, and doing all incredible things in the world. And so that's what we're here to talk about. And we lead to an influence off, so we keep score, have some fun, because we want to objectively measure influence, at least as it sits today. So Ben and David, are you guys up for this?
Let's do it.
Yeah. So let's go. Okay, so where we go from here. So Ben, I am going to, so Ben, you're calling in from Missouri. No, Dave, you're calling in from Arizona today, right?
Yeah, Arizona right now, yep.
Yeah. I'm going to ask a ridiculous question.
Okay.
Right? This will be the first time I ask a ridiculous question like this. Which one is more miles away from New Jersey right now? So Phoenix, Arizona, or Missouri? I'm presuming Phoenix, Arizona.
No,
right?
Phoenix is a lot further away.
Okay, so my geography.
Landslide.
I'm blind, brother. Like, so give me a break. Right? So like, thanks. So yeah, so we'll go with then. Yes, David is the away team. So you get to pick how many fingers I have under the table, 1 or 2, at the toss of a coin, and I'll give you your option. So is it 1 or 2?
1.
It is 2. So Ben wins the toss. And if you elect Ben to go second in the first round, then David will have the choice. To go second in the first round, then David will have the choice in the second round. If you go first in the first round, then you'll keep your choice into the second round. So would you like to go first or second in the first round?
Wow, this is really complex.
Super complex, yes. So you want to go first. So you retain your choice in the second round. Now,
sure.
In the first round, okay, so Ben's going to go first. And in the first round, here's what we're doing. This is one conversation divided into 2 3-minute segments. So it's one conversation. First round is the first half, second round is the second half, right? And the first round, what we're being measured on is how much that person is connected to you, i.e. sees their future in you, and how well you've connected them to whatever pains might be present in the context of the yes you will be seeking in the second round. So first round is about depth of connection, judges how much they're seeing their future, in Ben, right? And then eventually David, and how connected to some pain or wants, needs, desires that Jay is in that first round. So Ben, and this is about, and David, what is it that you want to get a yes with? So Ben, what's the yes you will be seeking? And it could be any yes you're up to in the world, the ability to speak, co-create a program, sell consulting, do something else. What's a yes that you're seeking in the world that you'd like to play with today in the real raw?
So in my world where I come from, usually on my first call, my yes is someone agreeing that, hey, I want to explore what it looks like to explore further what it would look like to work with you deeper, go to like a demo. So, awesome. If that works, then we can go with that.
100%. That's awesome.
Cool.
And so round one is depth of connection, judges, and the exposing of some pain that will be related to that ultimate yes of demo that Ben will be solving for. So Ben, any questions?
I don't think so.
All right, got 3 minutes, Jay. Ben's up.
Just Sean, real quick, we have a judge that came on. Teresa came on.
All right, awesome. Teresa, what's up? How are you?
She's muted.
Hold on, I got to unmute myself. I'm outstanding. How are you?
All right, Teresa, welcome back to the Real Raw. How does it feel to be sitting in the judge's seat as opposed to the participant seat?
Oh my God, so much more fun.
Yes, and Teresa has a 170-person real estate brokerage. Is that right, Teresa?
Yes, our office is 170 agents.
Yes, and you have done an amazing job in building and constructing that. It is an honor to have you here as a judge today because you certainly are an incredible entrepreneur. So welcome, and we're ready to jump in. And you know the score, right, Teresa? What's up?
Yes.
All right.
Sean, from the beginning here, do we set give me some context to how the conversation starts?
Yeah. So you how about this, Ben? You met Jay at an event, an unblinded event. So you guys met there. You said a quick hello for a minute or two, and now you're calling him in follow up.
Cool.
Awesome. All right, take it away.
All right,
there we
ready? Go.
Hey Jay, it's Ben Kniffen from LinkedSelling. How are you doing today?
Hey Ben. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I know we, if you remember, we met at the Unblinded event and we decided that it might be a good idea to just take some time and follow up. And, this can be a quick call. It's pretty casual, but what I do on these calls is typically see if there's, maybe any opportunities for us to work together. And if there are, we can explore what that looks like. But if not, we can just part ways as friends. How does that sound?
Ben, your name sounds familiar, but just again, remind me of what you do.
Yeah, sure. So if you remember at Unblinded, you attended one of my talks on using LinkedIn to build a massive lead generation funnel for your business. And, using organic outreach, maybe a combination of ads, power of combining those two together on a platform. We talked maybe about a minute afterwards. It was kind of rushed. So, but let me ask you this. Are you in a position right now where you're trying to scale and grow a business?
Yeah, absolutely. I have about 2 minutes just to check in with time, but I think I'm starting to remember you now as well. We joked about I said your name right. But yeah, no, we try to use LinkedIn, and we do own a business. Yeah.
Well, tell me what's going on in your business that made you want to attend that talk to begin with?
Well, we are newly owning our real estate agency, and training is a big, a big part of that. So we just wanted to go there to get some training and see if we can get some good knowledge.
Sure. So, dive into that a little bit for me, though. Knowledge on, it's kind of a broad term. Knowledge on what?
Yeah, sure. No, so I guess growing our team and training. Being able to train our employees and our agents and our teams.
Mm-hmm. How do you currently grow and train? Like you're talking about, you maybe want to use this tool to grow more members to your team. Do I have that right?
Yeah, absolutely. How do we do it now? So there's lack of a system, I guess. It's a lead by example. In a way, we're like a big family.
Sure. So, but there's just no system in place?
I wouldn't say there's no system, but there's no, maybe that's a good way to say it. There's no set system.
So how does that affect things on your end?
Well, listen, I have about 30 seconds left, but it definitely affects us. And that's why we were at that Unblinded event, because we realized that, the things that we do that just come innate to us have to be able to be taught and duplicated. So that's what we were trying to accomplish.
Sure. So I realize you got 30 seconds left. Does it make sense to try and keep talking to see if that's a problem that we can end up solving?
3 minutes and yes.
Yeah. And Jay, we can go with awesome job, Ben. Right. Go with, hey, I got 6 minutes, but in 3 minutes, I have to take a quick pause. Right. So let's go with that format.
Okay.
Good.
I like that. Yep.
Awesome. Okay. So Ben, awesome job. What is present for you, Ben? A little self-assessment.
Sure. So Jay was aggressive's the wrong word. He was very real world, right? This is the type of sales conversation that you can encounter on a regular basis.
Yeah.
The challenge for me there is trying to get him to attach to some sort of find the hook for him, because obviously in there he attended a talk for a reason, and so I'm trying to discover that. He definitely had a wall up, so I have to work through that to get him to open up. But I will say this, that a lot of times I think people make the mistake of just like, hey, tell me about your business. And that can open up a whole myriad of answers, everything from, well, my grandfather moved to the United States in 1920. And it's like, man, it's going to take a long time. So I got to be quick. And, I typically am trying to ask a question of, hey, what's hooking you to get that you attended this talk? Why'd you come see this? Why'd you come see us speak? What's the thing you're trying to solve?
Yeah, got it. So love this conversation. This is what we're here for, brother. Fantastic job. Let's get our judges will have scores and we'll go over them in a minute. Jay, where were you in terms of your gravitational, what feedback would you have for Ben in 2 sentences?
So I felt like the conversation was a little lateral, and I gave him opportunities to dive in a little deeper. My wall was up on purpose, but I threw out little accesses to dive deeper.
So Ben, what I think you did really well was your directness. Like, you were super integrity filled right off the hop of explaining, hey, do business. It wasn't hard. It wasn't pressurized, because you gave Jay the ability to back out of it and say, listen, either way, it's all good. So you had appropriate scarcity, not attached to the outcome, at a wonderful level, super congruent. Like, Ben, you and David are drop the mic congruent communicators, like world-class at 9.999 levels. And these are recorded every day, so you can watch every segment. I do not give the same feedback to everybody. So you amazingly congruent, great command of language and presence and certainty, phenomenal. On the other side, the opportunity for growth, there's heart connection. I totally get it. That we don't want to delve down a road that is going to become a distraction, but what creates massive acceleration in the space of it. And brother, we're talking, you're a genius already, obviously, 10,000 companies, everything you've done. What I would always, though, hold space for, which is what I talked about yesterday. I consider myself to be a 99.999 speaker 5 years ago, right? And I've added multiple distinctions over the last 1 year, 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, that have opened up new accesses for me. So a thought, and we'll go over how to do it in a little bit, will be, what if you could have a very efficient conversation, but truly hold space for the indispensable element of loving people, and get into a level of appropriate depth and back to focused outcome and helping solve that problem, whereby having Jay feel heard and understood, and having him see his future in you. So Jay, I'm going to hallucinate that you found Ben to be professional and competent, but perhaps not necessarily seeing your future in him. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. So Ben, does that make sense or no?
It does. I think a better move I could have pulled in there is, I will admit, reviewing game tape is always a good thing. I did not expect Jay to come out with the wall up that he did. So I have to make a quick adjustment to figure out, like, what am I going to do here? if I were going to go back again, I'd be like, hey, Jay, I get it. You don't got much time here. What would make this conversation more useful for you to figure out, what the hurdle is that you're trying to overcome? How can we go to the next level? I may, to be honest, when someone is pushing that hard on, hey, it's 3 minutes now or never, I may go the route of, hey, why don't we try and book this call for another time? If they're pushing that hard, super high D that way. Some other things I might have done in that.
Yeah, love it. One thought too is the power of language. Because I heard it twice, like make a move. I heard hook, right? And some of those, and again, this is, we are here for just real and talking openly, right, in our hearts about concepts that may create opportunity. So one of the things we talk about a ton in Unblinded is the power of language. So if Ben, you were to walk away from me and like, let's say like we're done today and you hear me communicating because the line stays open and I go, hey, you know what? And my son's here, Tyler, Mona's here. And I'm like, yeah, Ty, you know what? He's like, how'd it go? I'm like, yeah, it went really well, dude. I'm like, yeah, this guy from LinkedIn, we really hooked him. I think we're gonna close him. And you heard me say that, how would you feel about me? Like your feelings about me?
Yeah, I understand your point there. If that gets revealed, it's like, well, I'm not somebody who's looking to necessarily be closed. My thought is I want to be someone who is viewed as a valuable person who someone can help solve a problem. I'd say that.
Yeah. And I know that's obviously who you are because you're a genius in the space. One of many things that I studied for the past 2+ decades has been the power of how we relate to language and sales language, of pitching, closing, hooking, like all of those words that are just like so commonly utilized. My hallucination is they have vibrational energy around them. And I don't mean a metaphysical weirdness, right? And by the way, I'm not saying this isn't a physical conversation. So I shouldn't say metaphysical weirdness. I'm not talking metaphysically. I'm talking very just practically in how we relate to the words and the language. And so when we're present to the possibilities, wow, we're in the middle of a crazy lightning storm here. Interesting. So present to that language and how we feel about it, there's like a resonance that transpires, which we'll just demonstrate in a little bit. And I want your honest feedback. After I'm gonna go and approach it that way in a few minutes, and I want to see how you feel about it. Is that fair?
Sure.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks, Ben. Okay, so we're gonna go to David, then we'll go with judges and rounds and comments. David, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Jay, take it away.
Ready. Go ahead.
Hey, Jay, glad you could get on the phone with me today. Excited to talk to you. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, David? Everything's good, man. How about you?
Good, good. I don't think we would be on this phone call unless you wanted to talk about writing a book. And that's really what I want to spend some time with you about. And if you don't have a lot of time today, we'll schedule a time where we can really get to know each other a little bit better. But my first question that I really wanted to ask you was, what do you hope to get out of writing a book? Like, what do you hope a book will accomplish for you or do for you in your personal and professional life?
Wow. So, when I came to the event initially, me and my wife, we own a real estate company, and, we thought about writing this book, but we just didn't know where to start, in service of the people that we help. We want to, I guess maybe almost like, I don't even know how to put it into words. We're still really confused about, but that's why we reached out to you.
Yeah.
So how can you help?
Well, the reason why I ask that, Jay, is because I find a lot of people want to be a quote unquote, bestseller. They want to sell 1 million books, and that's a good worthy goal. But in my business, it really isn't about, how do I sell 1 million books? It's about how do I make $1 million with a book? And there's a little bit of a mind shift there. And so I usually just try to get that right off the bat, what's kind of the goal, and do you know what a book can do for you personally and professionally? And every once in a while too, I find it's just something on the bucket list for them. It's something they want to leave a legacy with. So it just kind of helps me know a little bit about where people are coming from or what their goals are with the book. But even knowing a little bit about you're in the real estate business, that kind of gets my wheels turning. And of course, I think you have some pretty amazing stories. Several people that referred you to me told me that you've overcome some pretty amazing things. And I think that could be powerful in your book. What of your stories do you think would be most beneficial that you could share inside of a book?
Well, I guess that's maybe where and why I reached out to you. It's, I see people in my industry that do write books, and I figured, with the amount of knowledge that we have and the amount of time we've been in this industry, that we would have something that we could also serve people with. So I guess I don't even know where to start, honestly.
Yeah. Well, where we'd want to start at is with a discovery call. And in this discovery call, to be honest, I'm kind of interviewing you, you're kind of interviewing me, and we're just seeing if there's a basis to do business together. And that call would take probably about 30 minutes, and I could send out to you an examples of some of the books that we've done and some of the results we've gotten for our other clients, so that you could see, how they have benefited from telling their story. But once we got on that call and you saw some of what I've done for other people, I think things would come together really quickly. The question, I guess, just becomes, are you really willing to tell your story and make a big investment in yourself? And are you excited about those types of returns? And that kind of happens in a different call. Go ahead, Jay. Sorry.
3 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome job. Halfway break, David. Great job. Let's hear it for David, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it for Ben as well. Let's hit the chat with some of the things that you're seeing that went well. Let's keep that coming. And I would say, Jay, what is present for you? 2 sentences.
More questions.
Okay, more questions. Awesome. So what I am present to is 2 realities. One, because we're always like transparent and raw here, there's a lightning storm in Long Beach Island, New Jersey. So it kicked me off for about 45 seconds. The camera is down. Wi-Fi has been disrupted. So we're working on restoration of that for now. So I'm present to that. Second, the dynamic of, with David was a lot of congruence, a lot of emotional, energetic transference was beautiful. But yes, I am present to you because I didn't hear I missed about a portion of the first minute. So I'm not sure what the opening questions were. But I would hallucinate a little bit more depth because it's been achieved through some more questions. David, what is present for you?
That's an interesting question. I go through a lot of effort never to be on a 2-3 minute call like this. So it's a really foreign concept to me, but for the purpose of this, I understand just trying to learn from it. I guess I'm trying to figure out how I would relate this kind of to what I do. There's a lot of shock and awe that's created before I ever get somebody onto a phone call. And there's a lot of information that's kind of given to me to go off of. So I guess I have to learn how to have a 3-minute phone call, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you definitely don't have to learn how to have a 3-minute call, brother, because I get it. Like, you've done such an incredible job in your process mastery, the structural dynamics of how you lead to having calls, which is a clear part of your genius, and your influence mastery part, because you so fluently and fluidly convey heroic, unique identity characteristics in your bio, which is masterful. So that's all super present. I think what we're trying to create in the Real Raw is the ability to demonstrate in a super consolidated way how we can navigate through the 4 steps, 10 indispensable elements, 4 energies of integrity-based human influence, which clearly the first time you're doing it is not simple. So thank you for bravely jumping off the cliff and into this real raw adventure. So thank you for that. And it is clear, though, the dynamics of your congruence.
Yeah, thank you.
If I can say something, I thought actually there was one thing that I noticed that I thought David did well, which is I'm assuming in his line of business, there's this possibly a disconnect between like writing a book for the sake of writing a book and then writing a book to actually make some money and get some return. And he brought that out into the forefront real quick to show. I think that there's a lot of people who could be like, yeah, it'd be cool to write a book, but why would I invest a bunch if that's what, and real quick, he's hitting on the fact that, oh yeah, but you can get some good ROI from it too, which will hook his people he's talking to. I thought it was, that was very, very good.
Yeah, awesome. And what I found, I didn't say this before, so let me say it now. What Ben did, that was an amazing disruptor right off the bat for conveying his identity, was simply the way he said massive lead generation, just the way he said massive with absolute congruence and certainty. and putting that in the space of the word LinkedIn, putting those words together, it just felt like, dude, you're talking to somebody who can create an incredible impact in no time flat. Like, so I didn't acknowledge that before, Ben, but that I thought was fantastic, how rapidly you hit a disruption to Jay right in the beginning.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's drop in with the judges. Let's start this out with the one and only Steve. What's up, sir? And we just kind of go with usually the format of our feedback is like, hey, one word you felt, like the first word that would come to mind when you felt about the presentation of Ben and then David. We'll start with Ben. And then second, maybe a sentence or two of positive feedback, acknowledgement, and then maybe what was a growth opportunity. So Steve, what'd you say?
Honesty. First word, honesty.
Nice.
Both guys came out with great honesty. David obviously used the approach that the person he's calling is already very aware who he is. So he made that assumption and went right into what he's doing. Ben had a more difficult time because Jay was acting as if he didn't know who he was and throwing up walls and stuff. So Ben just stayed focused on finding a crack in that wall. But both of them did it very honestly. And that would be what kept Jay on the phone.
Yeah, super. So just for the sake of having a grounding impact and effect, what'd you have for scores, Steve?
I would give them both a 7 because they both made the appointment. And it would have been higher, except there was that loss of clarity at the first part of the conversation, particularly about very quickly what you do and then focusing on the prospect a little bit more to learn more. We're obviously looking for his why. So we got to get to that pretty quick if all we got is 3 minutes.
Yeah. Awesome, brother. Thank you. Monica, what do you got?
All right. So for Ben, I really love the clarity and the directness and the just really focused energy. And so what I'm giving Ben 6.8. And so, like I said, wonderful, just clarity, clear idea about what they're talking about. It's fast paced, no pressure from the start. So there's, there's scarcity, but also just relaxed. And, I love that Ben's asking questions about what Jay wants and his business. And then what I would see in terms of like what could get better is it felt a little flat, like it felt like a kind of an interview, but there's not enough emotional connection from what I was feeling from that. And say, Jay was dropping in some really nice access points, like he would mention family, business like family, like I would follow up with that just to build more of a rapport. So.
Okay. Well, awesome. Well, thank you for that, Monica. And so we have 6.8 and what?
For David, I would giving 7.2.
Okay, I'm sorry. So 6.8 and what was the number? 7.2?
Yes, for David.
Okay, awesome. All right, and finally, Teresa, what do you got?
Hey, so I loved Ben when you said what's one word that just comes to mind based off of Ben's interaction. I would say Zeus, right? He's definitely got that Zeus energy down. He asked a lot of questions, but I do think, which I appreciated and was appropriate, but I do think a growth point would be to slow down a little and maybe change his energy. And in changing his energy, when he slows down, he'd be able to pick up those access points that Jay threw out. And
awesome.
So my number for Ben was a 7. And then David, I thought I agreed with you. I loved his pacing. He was very congruent. Although I do think that David's growth point would be he didn't dig in enough, right? Even though he was like, even though his question, like the way where he was going with it was compelling, I felt like he could have asked more questions. So for
right,
David,
awesome.
I would give him a, I don't know, 6.9.
Okay. We have some beautiful close scoring, and I'm going to drop in for a quick second here. and just roll through a couple access points for Jay. So Jay, let's roll it. So ring.
Who are you being
hi,
right
Jay.
now? Are you selling me a book, or am I trying to write a book, or are you Ben?
You don't have to worry about anything. You'll
Okay.
So ready? So ring.
Hello, this is Jay.
Yeah. Hey, Jay. My name is Ben Kniffen. We met at the Unblinded event. How are you?
I'm good. I think I remember you. What's up, Ben? How are you?
Yeah. Hey, listen. Do you just have a couple minutes to chat? And if it sounds like you're a little bit busy and concerned I'm calling you. This is not a sales call, but it's a relationship development call. And would I love to do business with you? Of course. But I want a quick evaluation to see if that's possible. And it makes sense for both of us.
Yeah, I have about 6 minutes. I might have to stop you a little early, maybe three minutes or so.
Okay. Thanks, Jay. So quick question. What brought you to the Unblinded event in the first place?
One of my good friends told me to come to this training event, so I figured I would check it out.
Oh, awesome. But can I ask this though, like why? Like everybody goes for a reason, right? Your friend asked you, but you said yes for a reason. What was the reason for you?
I really like training and always making myself better and hoping to make my team better as well.
Okay. And you work in real estate, right?
Yes. We own our own brokerage.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. But like, where are things, people, and I'm asking just because I want to assess the work that we do is in the space of creating like massive lead generation change. And a lot of people say they're interested, not, but it depends really on like how committed people are to growing and scaling their business. So did you go because you're really interested in growing and scaling your business, or was kind of like you're dabbling? Like, where are you in connecting to the growth of your business?
Committed sounds like a too soft of a word. Yes, absolutely committed to growing my business.
Wow. All right. And so why is that though? Like what drives you to do that? I'm hearing it. I heard team, but what's underneath all that? Like why are you doing this?
So when I say team, I work with my wife. She's my partner. So when I say team, it's also my family. My family is most important to me, and growing my team, which includes my family, we realize is all through training and actually trying to duplicate ourselves. But why I do it would be for my family, for my legacy.
Whoa, that's a big word. I know probably we'll get about a minute to go before we have to break. But when you say family, and congratulations on working with your wife, and not only you working with your wife, what I want to honor and acknowledge you for, Jay, is that most people that I hear that work with a spouse, and I'm not saying this is a good thing at all, but I'm hearing a joke about it. I'm hearing you honoring her. I'm hearing your excitement, your enthusiasm, and like commitment to your team, your family. Like you sound like a really incredibly unique person philosophically. And by the way, I don't just say that to everybody at all. I never say what I don't mean. And that really jumps out at me. The last 10 people I spoke to, probably more than 10, that said they work with their wife made a joke in the next sentence. So it's inspiring to hear how you communicate about your wife, your family, your mission.
Thank you. 3 minutes.
Yeah. All right. So where I would go then in the second half is I would transitionally talk, because Jay's obviously there for a reason. I would have asked one more question about, like, Jay, two more questions. What's working? What are the challenges? Jay, and by the way, gravitational pull-wise, Jay, what is your feeling of connection towards me? Beyond, like, comparatively analyze, like, the utilization of the 3 minutes to the 6 minutes. Like, how do you feel about the openness? How did I make you feel in trust? Like, let's go trust, scale 1 to 10. Like, from the beginning of the call to the beginning of 3 minutes to the end.
From the beginning to the end, I would say it was in the mid 9s for trust. There's something in the tonality and the way you were speaking to me, and I almost felt like you were quick. You met me where I was energetically, but then you kind of brought me down to this like slower pace, and it kind of got me into my heart and out of my head.
Yeah. For everybody out there, right? So there's 5 different things. Well, there's probably 18 different things going on, but we'll analyze a couple. 1, I love people, so I'm going to be present to people. Loving people unconditionally with boundaries. It's not about me. It will be about me in the second half, because now I have to show that there's a reason that I can solve problems and do things. But first, I love people. Regardless of doing business with Jay or not, I'm committed to making sure Jay feels and hears the 3 things that Oprah says. I see you, I hear you, what you say matters to me, and it's genuine, right? So I heard Jay, and I'm inviting you out there to always be looking for access points to genuinely acknowledge. So Jay talked about his wife in a way, if we're listening deeply and present not to ourselves and what we want, but present to the acknowledgement of another human being. What pops is, oh yeah, oh my God, Jay talked about his wife. He sounds happy about it. He sounds proud about it. Dude, everybody like jokes and talks about like working with their spouse, particularly women. I mean, men often say, and many women do too. And it's really kind of sad. It's lower vibrational. So when we pick up on higher vibrational dynamics of what somebody's doing, the acknowledgement of that creates a massive accelerant in the building of our rapport and connection, right? So let me just ask this question, Ben. What are you present to when I say that? Agree, disagree? We're like wide open and raw here. Like, what are your thoughts, feelings, and what I'm sharing?
No, I mean, those are good points. There's definitely, especially when it comes to trying to get to pain, you know, I typically look at two types, corporate and personal, and even in a corporate setting, there is still personal pain that is in there. There's personal reasons, there's personal whys. And yeah, you definitely got to find out what those are.
Yeah. And so what I always call it, you know, Ben, David, in as rapidly as possible, authentically as possible, I believe that the gift we're giving to people, so it's not, we're not manipulating them into like their pain, is people like to talk about where they are and really be heard by somebody. Most people are never really heard. So David, we're sharing some of this. What's present for you? You're a genius in the space. How you feeling about this conversation? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I like the personal touch. It reminds me a lot of the kind of high trust interview part of the process. You know, what is success to you? You know, where are you going? What's, you know, really getting to know them on a personal level and making it about the personal connection more than the features, actions, and benefits of products and services. So I see how you're accomplishing those goals in what you're asking. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like, dude, like both of your unique identities, heroic unique identities are like off the freaking charts. So what the sequencing of the unblinded formula is that we want to give people, I see you, I hear you, what you say matters. Be truly present, build a relationship, and mean it, by the way, which of course, David, you do, of course, Ben does. You guys are unbelievable in the relationships you build, the success you've had and continue to have. And so then the secondary dynamic is, yeah, and like I can solve these problems, not only the problems, but I'm the kind of person you want to partner with, like on this journey of solving these problems. Because like we want to hang out, we want to talk, like we want to encounter one another, build a relationship and solve these things together. So the secondary piece we're going to drop into right now, Ben, and by the way, it's your choice. Do you want to go first or second in round two?
I'll go first again.
Awesome. All right. So Ben's up and ready to go. And the second half is to deliver, move to a yes. And it's rooted, and the analysis in this round is rooted in sharing your story, who you are, and then seeking the yes to move forward and doing anything else you want. But the real question will be, how much does Jay, like from the analysis perspective for the judges, how much does Jay believe and trust that the problem Ben's connecting with, and if you want to dig in a little bit more into the pain and challenge, feel free to do whatever you want. Your 3 minutes. How much does Jay confidently believe to solve the challenge at issue, Ben's the guy? And then the congruence of moving forward into an agreement that's formed not through pressure, not through, like it's a real yes, like a genuine yes is what we're seeking. So Ben, do you have any questions?
Nope. Good to go.
Yeah. All right. Jay, take it away.
All right, Ben, I'm ready for you. Go.
Okay. So Jay, you were telling me that you attended that talk because you guys are just looking for more information on how to use LinkedIn to grow that family and environment, bring on more team members, turn them into family. How do you know what's the right way to use that tool to solve the problem? Like, how do you know if you should outsource it, if you should do it in-house? How are you going to make that decision?
I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. I don't know. LinkedIn is one of the formats and platforms that I'm having the most trouble gaining traction on, to be honest.
Why is that?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I got you. So when you tell me then, when you went to the talk, Was there anything that resonated with you? Where like, I think that this is the type of strategy we should be going with?
I mean, what's resonated most to me just in general about LinkedIn is that I'm hearing over and over again from every source that I need to be posting on LinkedIn, and we are, and I get discouraged because we don't get any traction or the type of traction that we get on like Facebook or Instagram. So I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah. Well, I will say that's probably a common misconception because LinkedIn is different than Facebook for one. They're two different platforms, and a lot of times people think they're apples to apples, and it's not. And where a lot of times people make the mistake is they just think, I'm going to post a bunch of content and I should get tons of new people in my community, or I should grow my business just by simply posting on LinkedIn. And you've got to be aggressive. You have to be able to connect, send messages personally on LinkedIn, and be able to engage with people one-on-one if you really want them to take action. You know, what kind of stuff are you guys doing with LinkedIn right now anyways?
I mean, it's kind of like a carbon copy of what we do on the other platforms. We just trying to change it up a little bit for LinkedIn. But again, how is it that, what do you think you could do for me? Because we need help. We do.
Yeah, well, a lot of times when we work with clients, what we're trying to first determine is a prospect profile. When you're using LinkedIn, there's a certain type of person you're going after. So for you, I mean, let's be real. If you're saying your team is your family, I'm sure you're just not bringing in any old person off the street. There's a certain type of person, certain characteristics, certain values, and we need to create a certain profile that we can then go and target people on LinkedIn, be able to build a database of those people and start engaging with them in a messaging campaign that's going to culminate for you guys in some sort of request for phone call or ability to come into your office for a chat or something of that nature. Usually when I talk about the misconception with the content and I show, the real key is you got to be going out there and building a database of people and engaging with them personally. Usually at that point, people are super compelled, or they're like, nah, that's not for us. Which one are you?
Ben, I am super compelled, and I would love to follow up with this conversation, but I do have to run, but I would love to have a follow-up. How do we schedule that?
Sure. So yeah, basically we'll get our calendars out, we'll take a look, we'll find a time, and we'll make it happen.
Cool. Thank you.
And then we book it from there.
Ben Kniffen, ladies and gentlemen. Ben, your certainty is, I think, have you ever seen Glengarry Glen Ross?
I have, yep.
Yeah. So Alec Baldwin could take lessons from you in the level of certainty that you deliver. So you are, dude, straight up, like so congruently certainty driven. So that it was epically present. So it was like inspirational. There's like not any like incongruence, concern, like complete go forward Zeus energy certainty. For an access point, perhaps I thought of a couple quick things that were present for me. Like, I'm excited to talk to you, right? Like, I'm excited to learn from you. So from what you're sharing, and I think what would be very compelling for me would be hey, listen, you're doing all this other stuff, right? And because what you want, Jay, is you want more people to talk to. That's what you want. You want connections, people finding you, and you want sales meetings, right? Because it's all about creating sales meetings for the least amount of time, money, and energy possible. That's the game, right, Jay? That's what your life is about, to get this legacy, protect and love your family. That's what it's about, right? So what I do is help people see what they don't see about how to do that through LinkedIn, because people have no idea how to use what I believe to be the most powerful business platform on earth. And it's very simple and direct. And the work I do is to teach you how to create more sales meetings of a higher quality with less investment of time, money, and energy. So is that like, boom. So the specificity of like the dynamic, because like, dude, it's there. Like, it's amazing. Obviously you're super successful, but any thoughts on that? Do you like that framework? Was that supportive or no?
Well, I do, but that's not what Jay was going for. He's not trying to get sales meetings, right? You were mentioning you're trying to grow your organization. Isn't that what you were saying? You were trying to grow your family?
You know what? So if I could drop in real quick on what I wanted to say, I agreed with everything that Sean just said, but I felt seen, heard, and validated by you 100%. And I think that was a drop the mic, not performance, but a drop the mic role play for sure. I really wanted to move forward with you. And yes, I want both, but I can see where what I said makes you go right to that. But yes, I agreed. I want to grow.
Yeah, 99.99% of every single call that I have, I'm always focusing on leads and marketing. That's not every now and then I get somebody who's looking at it from a recruiting standpoint. And that's, to me, it felt like in the beginning, what you were talking about was more of a recruiting situation, using LinkedIn to grow your team. So that's why I went that direction. Yeah, awesome. Either way, I think my point is... Your point is good, though. It's all spot on. Very true. Yep. Yeah. That meaning like the specificity of what you can do, like how much easier what you're doing is than anything else you could possibly do, whether it's a generated sales meeting, a recruiting meeting, right? Like it's dropped the mic. Like I am inspired by what I heard, and I'm wondering if everybody is as clearly seeing that what Ben Kniffen does, like it's clear, but like I'm talking making it like go from 2020 to like 2010, that what you do is help people not spend the time, money, and energy doing something else, because just like LinkedIn equals boom when I consult with you and teach you how to massively return on your time, money, and energy. I think, is that what you do or it's not what you do? I'm sorry, say that again. It cut out real quick. I'm sorry. Is that what you do? Is you're there to create a massive return on effort? Like that in your mind, LinkedIn, is that true or not true? Yeah, 100%. ROI is a big focus of what we talk about. Yep, most definitely. Yeah, awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Ben. And David, are you ready to roll?
Yes, sure.
All right. Jay, fire away.
Ready, go.
Jay, I've noticed people very drawn to you, drawn to your knowledge and experiences. Among other things, would you consider yourself in the advice business, someone who's getting paid somewhat for their advice?
I guess at times, actually, this question was brought up to me recently, and we like to think of ourselves as coaches and not necessarily always giving our advice, but trying to pull out what the truth is from the people. But yeah, I guess at times we're advice givers, yeah.
Sure. Well, what do you think your greatest expertise is actually in?
Connecting with people.
Okay. And is that one of the reasons why people come to you and they want more of you in their life, is so that you can help them connect with more people?
I mean, I think people come to me for a few different reasons. In the real estate industry, as if for people of our team members, I think that's what they come for. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I think that the people that are in the advice business, what I have found is that they really are the product. They're selling themselves as much as they're selling anything else. And there's a question that people are asking either subconsciously or consciously, and that is just, why you? Why should I invest my time with you? Why should I invest my money with you? Why not somebody else? Why not something else? And we've got to have a really good answer for that question. I think that's one of the biggest ways that we help people get a book, or reasons why we help them get a book, is to help answer that question, why them? Because you are the product, because you want to market yourself and brand yourself, a book is a very powerful way to do that. It's kind of the law of multiplication, if you will. What do you think it would feel like to put your life story in somebody's hand, your life's work in somebody's hand?
It would be incredible to see somebody benefit from the stories that we could tell, but I don't know if I could write like that. I have like a minute left, by the way, but I don't know if I could write like that. Is that something you guys also aid with? How does that work?
Yeah, we've got a foolproof system, a very proven system. There's quite a few people I could put you in touch with that you could talk to about their positive experience of becoming a best-selling, money-making, published author. Everything from ghostwriting to formatting to your book cover. But I guess I just want to learn more about you and your story and make sure you're seeing yourself in the right way, because I don't know if you understand the potential you have and the ways that you could separate yourself and become more of an authority in the marketplace with a book. So I really want to show you what that might look like.
Yeah, I only have about 15 seconds, but I think that sounds good. How do we proceed to the next step?
Well, this isn't something that I talk about in theory. This is something I've done myself. I have quite a few bestseller books myself. I've done this for other people. What I want to do is just give you my calendar and let you choose a time that works best for you. And I'll get you the information to review before we even get on a phone call. And then we'll go through a process that'll really help you understand what's available to you.
Perfect. 3 minutes and yes.
Awesome, David. Awesome. And so, David, what's present for you?
What is present for me? Thinking about what I normally do and if some of those things might handicap me, and if, I have a lot of visual aids, I have a lot of things I give to people. So I'm thinking about, in the times that I don't maybe have some of those things, what are other ways that I can create the feelings that I want them to feel without maybe some of those props or things like that I sometimes rely on. Yeah. It kind of stretches me a little bit to figure out how I might convey some of those things. But I guess that's what pops into my head.
Cool. I mean, what is present for me that I want to hear a ton more about is things that are in your bio. I mean, they just dropped the mic. So the sequencing of round one, opening to where you've been, where are you, where are you going, what's working, where are the challenges. That's the format of general questioning, right?
Oh, I see. I kind of messed up then. For some reason, I went into redoing what we just did, kind of with. I was kind of redoing the first thing. So that's my fault. I did not.
No. Listen, awesome. So when that's exposed in the pain, if you could just like, for example, and I'm sure this is going to land on the folks watching, in replay and live. Just list the 3. Which you did in your bio, but just like say them if you don't mind.
Right. So what I would say in that situation is, right when I say why you, you've got to be able to answer that question, why you? I love it when people ask why me. I mean, I'm the former.
So why you?
What?
I want to give you the opportunity to just tell the world right now here, why you? I know why you. Tell them.
Right. I was just setting that up in the context of the conversation that we just had. But yes, I love it when people ask why me, because I've been the former CEO of Guerrilla Marketing. I've been on just about every news media outlet you can imagine, from Neil Cavuto to the Today Show to Fox and Friends. I've even won the Entrepreneur Educator of the Year award from Inc. 500 and Fusionsoft. So there's 3 that
drop the effing mic. Right. That is absolutely sick. So, by the way, because I want to even know more, like, you won say it one more time, the Entrepreneur Educator of the Year.
So Infusionsoft, the software company, gives out its awards. So they gave the Entrepreneur Educator of the Year award to me in 2016 at an NBA basketball game. And so it was kind of a cool deal. I was very honored that they did that for me.
That's extraordinary.
Thank you.
Extraordinary. So thank you. So, all right, let's get to a roundup with our judges. Monica, what do you got?
All right. So with Ben, I just love the confidence and certainty, and just the calm, kind of relaxed, and he really delivers value right away. Just giving Jay like really clear ideas about what he can do with LinkedIn. So it's already value, and it's with no pressure or needing to sell something, but it's obvious that, his unique identity is there. So what I would do in terms of improvement, there is ways to get more into pain, and what Jay is really, dig deeper into what Jay is really going through and what he needs. So I think there were openings for that. So I would, the score would be like 8.6 for what I'm seeing.
Right.
And then for David, score is 9.2. What I loved is that, in the entire conversation, what I felt, it was this incredible level of acknowledgement for who Jay is and his uniqueness, and that he is important. And so that was just coming through the whole conversation. So, it's like, yes, I would like to work with David because he really sees who I am, I would also get more into exposing what is the pain, what's Jay, what are Jay's pain points, and what are his values, like what is he really wanting to convey in a book. So maybe open more that space.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Monica. Great job. Steve, what's up, brother?
Hey man, that was way more focused than the first one. They both move up. I'd give Ben an 8, and I'd give David at least 8.5. Ben, where I was missing the most in Ben's is that focus on really drilling down on that why and create a sense of need or a huge sense of urgency. I didn't feel the excitement. It's like, okay, we'll talk again, but we weren't looking for that. We wanted, I got to talk. So looking for a sense of urgency. And David, for you being like fish out of water, not having any of your props, systems, books, but Jay knows nothing about your success. Kudos to you for, getting in there 8.5 and that your confidence level comes through. But I was lacking the same thing, is that a little bit of extra excitement that creates and draws out a sense of urgency on Jay's fault to take action now. So great job, both guys.
Yeah. And Steve, by the way, I'm sorry, go ahead, David. You gonna say?
No, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah.
Cool. So Steve, how's everything going? When are you going to see the animals next? I love always talking to Steve about his animals.
I just came back last night. I'm been out operating the dozer a few days. We're building a new lake, cleaning up a lot of things, creating more water. And every morning and every evening when it's prime time, I drive around and check on all my children. They're exotic animals from all over the world. It's a blessing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to acknowledge this, the folks from your incredible organization that you've been introducing us to and we've been doing modules with are extraordinary. I mean, person after person. And the greatest testament to you and your work that I could possibly share is that every single person in their process mastery mirrors your process. So just like, hey, what's your process mastery? Like they mirror what you teach and what we did in the modules together. So it is remarkable. So
thanks, Sean. That's a big honor. We do practice what we preach. And I got to tell you, every time you do a session with someone, my phone rings afterwards. And it's always with great praise. The most common thing is if we quit now and nothing came of it, they got great value out of just what you did.
Oh, well, thank you, Steve. And thank you for being here, brother. Thank you. And so Teresa, what is happening?
Hey, oh, right, I'm unmuted, sorry. What is happening? I'm just enjoying watching these very accomplished gentlemen practice their skills. So that's what's happening.
Yeah. And what do you got in terms of feedback and scores?
So feedback, I think Ben really was a huge jump up for me. I thought he probably walked away with an 8.3. I liked his energy. I liked that he was compelling Jay to move forward. I do think that there were a couple access points he could have dug in a little bit deeper to if he slowed his, I don't know if it's slowing his pace or changing his energy just a little bit, modulating a little bit. I thought it could have taken it up even more. I thought David is very smooth, in my opinion, in how he communicates in general. And that was very apparent. And even with his not knowing where he was at and feeling like he missed some of the instruction, I still would give him an 8.5.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Teresa. Before we draw to a close, Ben, any closing comments for you? Calls to action to people out there and how they might find you?
He's muted.
I was muted there. If you go to linkselling.com/unblinded, you can go to, if you're interested in booking a time to chat, or you can just go to linkselling.com and we have a wealth of material there within our blog and our case studies that showcase the work that we do, how we generate leads, grow funnels for companies that are out there, and we're always here to serve.
Ben, I am extremely grateful for you being here, and I'm extremely excited to checking out those case studies and learning more about what you're up to. Jared spoke incredibly highly, and I'm really grateful for your time today. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. And David, closing words from you, and how do folks find you and your brilliance?
Sure. Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me on. Definitely learned something. Normally I'm kind of doing what you guys are doing. This is good for me to sit here and kind of force myself to stretch and think about things a little bit differently. So thank you for doing that. You go to wordgeniusbook.com. Word Genius, what to say and how to say it. Here's one of my props right here. We go, Sean. There you go. But wordgeniusbook.com, and you can get a free version of this book right there and get into our list and get some information on upcoming events and things that we do. Even talentsupportservices.com might be a good place for you to go if you're looking for more support and growing your business. We're available for that as well. So thank you, Sean. Thank you, everyone.
No, thank you, David. And truly wildly impressive, the things you've created and co-created with others. Thank you, David Fagan, Ben Kniffen. Thank you, Monica, Never Quit Steve, and Teresa, crushing with our 170 brokers running around out there. This is the Real Raw Role Play. We'll be back each and every day. We'll have some folks from today potentially advancing into the Influence Off with remarkable people coming up shortly as we name the Influencer of 2020 in the United States of America and eventually around the world. I'm Sean Callaghan on behalf of the entire Unblinded team. Jay Levine, fantastic job today. Check out the unblindedhuddle.com tomorrow. See you at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.